Hey everybody, I'm Sean.
And I'm Lanette.
And we represent Not Just Roommates. And today we want to talk about a difficult subject, but one that I think is very important. We're going to ask a question. Have you already left your marriage? Okay. There are moments when in our relationship it was really difficult. And we were on the edge of divorce. And some of y'all who may be watching this, you may be going through that moment in your life right now, and it is a difficult time, and I don't wish that on anybody. And I just want to give you some encouragement and maybe some suggestions. If you're at that place where you feel like you're just on the edge and you're ready to just call it quits with the relationship, or maybe you know somebody who you need to share this with as well. A few thoughts that I have for you. Number one, you kind of know if you're leaving the relationship or if you're still in it, but you haven't quite left the home. You can tell, number one, to me by stonewalling. And stonewalling is essentially when there's basically nothing that could be said without starting a fight or a fire within the home. And it just kind of seems like there's so many fires that can't be resolved. And that can be, stonewalling is not something that necessarily is just outwardly said where we're just going off on each other, but it's to the point to where you just giving up and you don't even want to say anything.
Yeah.
And if a person basically can't get a word in without it being a fight, it's my way only, I'm right, you're the one that's in the wrong, she feels she's right, I'm the one that's in the wrong, then at that point we're living together, but this is the apex of being roommates. And at this point, we don't even want to be roommates because we just can't stand each other. And that's a real difficult place to be in. The one thing I think about is when my wife and I were at our worst, it was hard for me to remember what the good time was like versus what the bad experience currently was. And so another way to think about it is there was something that you were drawn to them for. There was something that you fell in love with them for.
But now you can't even think about it.
Yeah, you can't even see it because it's so bad. And now they just irritate you, or you can't figure out how to just make it better. And so another way that you know that you're kind of at that place where you've left the marriage, but you guys are kind of just roommating it out, is if in your mind you're kind of imagining what it would have been like if you would have been with someone else. If in your mind you're contemplating being with someone else. We've counseled couples before where one person was in a relationship, and I mean they're literally considering dating someone else, or have gone on dates with someone else,
or even just flirting at work, or flirting through the drive-through. You know, having when you've crossed the line, even in just basic conversations.
Yeah, that's a dangerous spot to be in, because at that point we're on the edge of, or have basically broken our marriage vow of being one with just our spouse and not anyone else. If you're at that place, I just want to be a voice in your ear to just whisper to you and just say, come back from the edge. That's a dangerous spot to be in. I believe your marriage is worth saving, and I believe that you can. I believe that your marriage can work. Being on the other side of where we were about to get a divorce, and now, I mean, we're sharing marriage wisdom with couples all over, and this is what we do.
Yeah. And
we're passionate about marriage. I thank God that we stayed together. Our 3 children are better, because we stayed together. 2 of them we wouldn't even have, you know what I mean? If we'd have let the worst times, kind of get the best of us and shut us down. But we have a beautiful family. You all have something worth fighting for. Your home is worth pressing through the discomfort of this moment and getting solutions to help you grow to the next level in your relationship. So one of the things, the first thing I'm gonna tell you, if you're at this place and you can identify with being here and your heart is hurting, you got to get help. I don't have enough time in the video. I don't have the ability to heal all the hurt and the thoughts that are going on in your mind, but there are counselors around you, and we'd even love to connect with you. I mean, you can get our email from our website. You can click the links, to get connected with us, and we'd love to be a resource for you. But what I'm gonna challenge you to do is to find a counselor. Find someone that can literally help you. If your spouse isn't willing to meet with a counselor to resolve it, and you guys are at this point, you may need to talk to someone who's really close to him or her that can whisper in their ears and kind of pushed them a little bit to say, look, man, if you don't do it now, you're going to lose it. And if they won't listen to you, maybe they'll listen to someone else.
A lot of marriages fall simply because they just won't get help. Mm-hmm. And what you have to understand is you are not alone in this. You're not the only one, and unfortunately you won't be the last. Mm-hmm. But the way to seek help is you have to push aside the shame mm-hmm. and the condemnation that you feel, or even the embarrassment, mm-hmm. and you have to go get the help, because in my opinion that's almost the first step. And
here's the thing, when I say a counselor, your friends are great, your parents are cool, all of that, nothing against them. I'm talking about go to a Christian marriage counselor. And if you've already gone to one and you had a bad experience, treat it like a restaurant, man. Go to another one until you find the right fit for both the husband and wife. It shouldn't be a one-sided event unless the spouse is just that bad. But from our experience, usually both sides in the relationship got some areas that they need to have worked on. And it's not about going to the counseling to fix one another. It's about going to the counseling so you can see clearly, and so that healing can begin to take place. Now, if your spouse won't go to counseling and you're still going through these struggles and you're wanting to stay in it, I'm gonna say this to you: get your healing. Right. You need to be healthy. If you're with them, be healthy. Yeah. If you're not with them, guess what? You're still going to have to be healthy. You still want to be a forgiving person. You still want your heart to be healed. You still need to be great for your kids or for your job. You still want to be a great representative as a child of God. And that being the case, get what you need to make sure that you're functioning as a child of God. When you made marriage vows, you made a vow to your spouse, but before God. And that's a vow that you made to God. And so I still believe that vow is important. That's primarily what kept us together. Absolutely. So having said that, if you're one of the people like us and you're saying, hey, my vow matters, I wanted to stay together, but I just don't know. The pain of staying seems greater than the pain of leaving. If you're at that place where it's just so hurtful, then regardless to if you stay or go, you need to be healed. So why not get started now? If they won't go for counseling, you go get it. And you start seeking God, and you be the person that you signed up for this marriage to be. Mm-hmm. Be loving, be forgiving. And if they act like a complete jerk, be humble. Keep giving. Just keep on giving. Keep pouring in. And let me tell you something. God, I believe this. God is the Lord of the harvest. And that means that as you plant seeds of love and grace and mercy, God is not mocked. Whatever a person sows, they're going to reap that. God will bring you back that harvest. And we will hope that that harvest will come from your spouse. Absolutely. We hope that that harvest will come from your kids. And I believe that God will do a work in their hearts as you humble yourself and become who it is that you signed up to be. Being healthy individually makes all the world of difference in the marriage corporately. Absolutely.
We always say 2 whole individuals make a whole marriage.
Yeah, but if you're broken and if you're wounded and you're just, so angry, if you're so hurt, if you're so bitter, then it's going to be, I can give you an instruction manual, the guide to marriage, and it will still be difficult for you to execute because it's on top of all the mess from the past. And so the way to move forward is to get yourself to a healthy place and being restored. If my wife decided all of a sudden that she was just not gonna eat, I promise you, I would feel bad for her.
Yeah, but he would eat.
I will take the pieces of chicken off of her plate and I will eat them bad boys. I will eat the pasta. I will drink her Kool-Aid. You hear me? And if she don't want it, I'm still gonna eat it because I need to live. I need to live. You need to live. And so just because your spouse isn't doing something don't mean you don't do it. Do what is necessary to be the person that God wants you to be. Be his child and be a representative of the king. And I believe that that's one of the first starts in actually getting back to a place to where maybe the marriage can work. Maybe we can make it through this thing. Is first by being the child of God that he wants you to be regardless of them, and really making a pursuit to professional Christian counseling. And if the first one don't work, go to the second one. I'm going to keep reiterating it, but you need
be
counseling.
Proactive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if it costs, make the investment. This is your marriage.
Yeah.
We've invested for cars, houses. We come up with big down payments for houses, 20%, this and that, to get in the house, 15%, whatever. We'll spend on vacations. We'll spend for college. We'll do all these things. When it comes to our marriage, we don't want to make the investment. Take off work if you have to. Yeah. To be with your spouse in counseling. It's worth it. So I would challenge y'all to do that. And then you may even need to take a little bit of a retreat where you just get away. And there's a lot of marriage retreat organizations out there where you can just get away from everything, and they do intensive care and they just kind of walk with you. But hopefully you'll take this and you'll act on it. Don't allow the pain to be your guide. Allow your heart to listen to what it is that God is saying and get you in a place where you can be healed.
We're praying for you.